Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our third Decentraland All Hands community session. These sessions have been designed to provide a more comprehensive insights and foster deeper connections and synergy between the foundation and the community. This session is broken into 3 segments, starting with product updates, followed by foundation updates, and closing up with the AMAs. And if you guys have not gotten a chance to submit your questions yet, I just posted earlier a link in there to submit your questions in the Slido. So that's for the AMA portions. And just a reminder that the cadence of these sessions are every 7 weeks. If you have any questions, inbox support via chat, email Canny and the RFIs for details. You can check this past post, and let me paste it here for you guys so you guys can check it out. Awesome. Wonderful. So without further ado, I will pass it on to Nicholas, who will be starting us off with the product update. Thank you.
Thank you, Natalie. Hello, everyone. I'm Nico, product lead for the foundation. Hope you're all having a great day. So today I will be sharing some of the latest product updates that we've been doing in the past 7 and 8 weeks, and also the things that we're going to do next for the next cycle of 2 months. So as I mentioned in the past all hands, we are working in these cycles of around 2 months. So today marks the end of the cycle number 3. So I will start sharing all the things that we shipped so far in the past weeks. Some of these are being released during this week. So stay tuned to our Twitter and Discord to be aware of the latest releases. So let's get right into it. But first of all, let me share some of the insights that we use in order to prioritize these initiatives, these projects, all these amazing features. So for now, at least for cycle 3, we've been prioritizing features that will help us polish the current experience. This is fixing some legacy technical and design debt to have a more solid platform, smoother experience in many fronts. And on the other hand, we've been also working hard on having a better onboarding for both Web 2 users and Web 3 users. This is about having a smoother way to log in and to interact with the platform for the first time, and also acquiring items and buying stuff with fiat, with our tokens. So I have a few interesting things to share on that front. So first, starting with the things that we've done on the past months to polish the current experience. Nico Earnshaw, you already know him, a star in the community, will share some of the updates. So Nico, all yours.
Super, thanks. So let's start with the editor. We've been working plenty on making the editor a much more powerful tool. The first thing I'll show is that we've added a few new smart items, and these were pretty essential smart items that we really need to have. So this includes a video player smart item, for example. With this, you can just drag in the item, adjust it, place it, stretch it out, and just paste the URL for a video stream that you want to stream into your scene, and that should be all you need to do in order to have a video playing in your scene. So here I am just pasting a URL there. You can see I can also change the loop setting, change the volume, all those basic settings that you'd expect to find. And if I see the scene over here, the video is already playing. This can also play videos based on action. For example, if the player presses a button or enters a room, or you can make the video just play from the very start. We also have an audio stream entity that does the same, but with audio. And here I'm placing an NFT smart item that also displays an NFT as a wall art. So again, you can adjust the size and paste URN for that specific NFT. These things are already available in the latest version of the editor and in the web builder as well. We're just fixing a couple of minor known issues with the size. Maybe you noticed in this video that the size of the video itself was a bit bigger than when we actually saw it in preview. We're adjusting that, and that should be fixed this week. Right, so next. We've also been adding a bunch of, for some reason, I'm stuck in the video. If I go to the next thing, that's because I still have the video playing, apparently. That's a problem. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. So the next thing we've added is a bunch of new actions that you can do in smart items. So these include things like opening a link, teleporting a player. I'll show the video and this will make it a lot clearer. So these things can work as part of any smart item that you build or you trigger. Here I'm triggering a player animation. Here I am opening a teleport. It's teleport to another scene. Here I'm opening an external link to open a link to another page. Here I'm duplicating that treasure chest. Here I'm deleting one of the treasure chests. Here I'm showing UI, some text in the UI, which disappears after a few seconds, which is great for subtitles, hints, and other things. And here I'm delaying an action. And as you can see, the palm tree took a couple of seconds to appear. We also added the functionality to add loops. And this is, of course, also, in addition to other things that we already had, like attaching things to the avatar bones, to the avatar hands, or we can also, have actions to play videos and play audio sources and stop them. So with all of these, you can actually do a lot. Like, we are already at a point where we are past the features that were available in the old builder, and now we are already extending past that. For example, we are already able to play avatar animations, which we couldn't in the old builder, and now we're at the point of starting to pave new roads on top of what was possible before. Again, it's playing the video. This is pretty frustrating. Sorry. So yes, the next thing I want to share is with the UI. So the SDK 7 UI was a pretty big change, and there were a couple of rough spots that we needed to address to make that experience better. So one of them that you can see in this video has to do with making it possible to a parent element auto-adjust to its children. So you can set an auto size of something, and you see here, I'm changing the length of the text from hello to hello world to hello beautiful world, and you can see that the parent element adjusts its size accordingly. I don't have to explicitly set, a different size in pixels. And yeah, this makes it quite a bit easier to have all kinds of UIs that just adapt to whatever size of or content you want. Another thing there has to do with the fact that before, all UI elements were pointer blocking, meaning that if I showed a big image in my screen, I wasn't able to click on the scene anymore. If I freeze the cursor and wanted to bring the cursor back to the scene, I was limited because I couldn't click anymore in this area occupied by the UI. That's no longer the case. I can make something non-clickable, and something is non-clickable by default until it has an on-click event. So that makes it quite a bit more intuitive. And also another thing is that whenever you're typing into an input box, now you can press enter to submit, which is something that was possible in SDK 6. We never included that in SDK 7. And it was pretty, annoying, especially you would really notice it when you had like AI NPCs. That when you would chat with them, you would probably expect to hit enter to send your message as you do with the chat, but no, you had to click a UI button to send the message. Now you no longer need to do that. So next page. Last but not least, this is a big one. So this is the serverless multiplayer. This is actually something that we've been, we've been really wanting to release. This is something that we included in the original manifesto for SDK 7 as one of the essential pillars, which is making multiplayer easy. As all of you scene creators here know, like multiplayer in Decentraland is quite a tough ordeal. You need to set up a server and send messages between players. It becomes really complicated. Well, you still can do that, and probably you will still want to do that for more advanced scenarios. But when it comes to simpler scenarios, you can see this one line of code that we have here at the bottom of the screen. It just says sync entity, my entity, transform, ID, component ID, and entity ID. That's all it takes to make something synced. And after I added just that one line, any changes to that entity will be automatically shared with everyone else in the scene. So we have this little video showing a scene that we built to showcase this. So here, each one of the tiles on the floor has this one-liner, and with this, other players see whenever the color of the tile changes. And we're only syncing the color of the material component of these entities because it doesn't make sense to sync the position or the shape, given that in this case, we don't care about sharing that. So this feature lets us be also smart about what things we're syncing and what we're not, so that we are not overloading everything with unnecessary messages. And here in this example, besides changing the color tiles, we can also put a beer on the faucet and fill it up. You can see that the beer fills up on both screens, and then the player grabs it, and you can see that the player has it in its hands on both screens. And yeah, the same happens with the other player. So yeah, the idea is that these kinds of more social and yeah, like kind of lightweight interactions should be super easy to implement with just one line of code. Awesome. So the last thing I wanted to share was that we've been doing plenty of work with the examples. As you know, we have our example scenes for SDK 7 here in this studios page. And we've been continually adding more and more of these to keep growing this collection. And yeah, you can see there's plenty of them. And for every one of these examples, you can either look at the code or you can click the button to try it out. And when you jump into trying it out, we've also added a bit more of functionality to this. And each one of these examples now includes a little description and a link to GitHub. So this enables you to not just explore the collection of examples through the page that we just saw, but you can also explore the collection of examples in world. And you can just wander around, and when you see something that interests you, you can jump into the code for that example. So here I'm loading into the scene, and you'll see that each one of the examples has a little bit of reference and a link. And by the way, thanks to everyone from the community who's contributed to this. And the list includes CryptoTrader69, KJ Walker, Canvasland, Inability, Polygon Mind, Dogman, Kansi, Vegas District, Glitch NFT, Mazerplatz, and this keeps growing. So here you see that each one of these examples has a different description. And if I were to click on the GitHub icon on the lower right corner, I can jump into that example and see the code.
So another interesting feature that we are introducing this week is the first version of the notification system. Currently, it's going to be available in the marketplace. You've seen it already in the DAO. So we are making these first steps in something that it's really needed platform-wide. So for now, in this first iteration, if you sell an item, wearable or remote, you're going to be notified in the notification center in the top right. These are really common behavior you're mostly familiar with. So you can check like all the notifications that are new. You're going to see them with a special icon, and also you can see the history of the notifications that were already seen. Also, if you're a creator and an item that you created was sold in the secondary market, you earn royalties for that. And you're going to be notified about that as well. And also, if you send a bid or if you receive a bid for one of your listings, you're going to get a notification as well. And some of the other notifications that we're going to introduce soon are about around renting. So if you have a listing of your land for rent and it's somebody rents it, you're going to be notified. And also, if that renting period ends, you're going to get notified as well, so you can claim it back or put it again for rent for another one to use. Another one interesting notification that we're going to add is the airdrop. If someone gives you sends you a gift, you're going to get notified as well, so you can say thank you for that love that you've been given. So you can expect to see more of these notifications coming out on the next cycles. So yeah, something else that we did in the cycle 3 was fixing the L1 hand wearables. So if you are one of the OGs in the community and you have L1 wearables, now they also work well with the hands category that we introduced some months ago. So this was a great work from the team as well. And now this is completely polished and shouldn't have any clipping or any issues with that. So you can combine it with all the L1 wearables. Then on the onboarding, as I was saying before, this is the other pillar of the strategy that we've been following for cycle 3. We have a few exciting updates as well. First, this is for new users. I don't know if you already remember about this, but you had to accept like a long list of terms and conditions. That was like a mandatory step during the first screens that you see as a new player in the Decentraland. That had a lot of friction, as we saw in the acquisition funnels, and we introduced a simplification of this, something also really common in the industry, just a checkbox. I don't know if you can see it, so it's a bit small, but it's something also really common. You could just check a checkbox right there, and you can accept the terms and conditions and move on with the onboarding flow. Of course, you can check the terms and conditions and the privacy policy if you want to, but if you don't want to read it, you can just check it and continue with the avatar creation, which is way more fun, as we know. This is also something huge for me. We are delivering this gradually so far. Something that we wanted to do since a long time is improving the sign-in experience, having like a single sign-on. This means that if you sign into one site in the central ecosystem, like the marketplace or the builder, you are also signed into the other applications. This is also to give the feeling of an ecosystem, as we really are, and make the experience across all the applications way smoother. In order to do this, we changed the structure of the URLs that we have. So now we move into a path infrastructure. So the URLs change. For instance, we had market.decentraland.org. Now the URL is decentraland.org/marketplace. The same with the builder, an account, and the profile. Those are the ones that are migrated so far. And we are going to migrate all of them, including play.decentraland.org. It will be decentraland.org/play. Don't worry about the old links. They will still be working. If you type the old link, if you already have it saved in your bookmarks, it's fine. You can update it, but if you click on the old link, you will be redirected to the new one. So the sign-in will work as well. I know, Fede, if you can play the video. I know why it's not playing, so you can see it also there in a more visual way. So, for instance, here I'm at the marketplace, so I'm not logged in. I'm just showing the URLs, moving to the builder. I want to sign in with my MetaMask account, just sign a message, and I'm already logged in. Until now, until this feature was introduced, you had to do this again in every site and sign the message again. Now I enter the marketplace and I'm already logged in. This is because of the new past infrastructure that allows us to do this, the profile as well. So all these applications are currently available, and we're going to continue updating the rest ones. And this is a way smoother experience for new users and also for all of us that we are current users in the platform. So we'll be continue sharing updates on the URLs changing, and there are some changes that will also be maybe you need to make on your side for the play.decentraland.org if you are using that URL currently. So we'll be sharing more details for that really soon. We haven't changed that yet, so we don't want to break anything. We're going to do this in a giving you all the heads up necessary. So this is really great. I hope you enjoy it. And then, sorry. We also added some really interesting new feature. So far, you can buy wearables with Mana. Some time ago, we introduced the ability to buy wearables with fiat, with credit card, bank transfer, Apple Pay, many other options. And now we're introducing more on the Web3 space, and you can buy wearables and emotes with practically any token on the Ethereum blockchain and in the in the Polygon blockchain. So this is really cool. For instance, if you have, let's say USDC, USDT, or I don't know, even Matic, like any token in the Polygon network, you can use that token that it's in your wallet to actually get wearables and emotes in Decentraland. So that's really cool. You can also, we're also getting the balance that you have in your wallet from the blockchain. So we show you like the available tokens that you have. You can use different combinations. You can use Ethereum in Ethereum as well. So we're going to continue adding more networks. But for now, you can use mostly any token in the Ethereum and the Polygon blockchain. This is really cool. And I hope you can get more amazing wearables and emotes from the community with this feature. Great, so that's it for cycle 3. This is all the things that we've been releasing in the past couple of months. So now I'm going to share some alpha of the things that we are developing right now. The deliveries of these features that I'm going to share are going to be during January, some of them by early January and some others towards the end of the month. So you know what to expect of new releases from the foundation. So let's get into this. As before, we are keeping this strategy of continue polishing the current experience. It's something that we need to continue doing. And also, there's many other opportunities for the onboarding, like social login. I mentioned that in the past All Hands, but I will tell you now what happened with that project, because that's also something very interesting. But before getting into the initiatives that we're going to be working on during this cycle, let me share something important about the strategy that we are tackling for now. So on top of this, we also know about the performance issue that we have in the platform. This is something that we are obviously aware. We've been working in the past months to fix this problem, to really fix this problem, to put it in the past and really enjoy the platform in a smoother way. So yeah, this is something that I think we can all be familiar with. So just wanted to share. I'm not going to share that much, so bear with me for now. We're going to be sharing more things in the months that are coming. But I wanted to know, I want all of you to know that we are really aware of this, and let me share what we are doing to tackle this problem really good. So we are working on a new desktop Explorer client. We are super committed with this objective. All of our Unity engineers are working on this. All the other engineers from dApps and other teams that are needed in order to make this project move faster are also committed into this. Like this a common effort that we have to really solve this problem. The main focus is to solve the performance issue. We are achieving over 60 frames per second for mid and high-end computers. For low-end computers, it's a little less, but it's even way better than what we have now. So the performance should be a huge improvement once this is out, and also keeping hiccups below 5% for most of the tiers. But also with this opportunity, by making this new client, we are revamping the gameplay and the graphics, the locomotion. So I've seen some advances and some tests from the team, and it's looking really great. So I think it's going to really blow everyone's mind once we can start showing some things more visually. This is going to be all in SDK 7. So if you haven't migrated your scenes yet, it's a good opportunity to start thinking about that. There are a few proposals in the DAO as well to help you for this. So this is the most important message. We are really committed to this. We are going to solve it for good. And we are going to release the manifesto as we do every year. And we're going to share more details on the manifesto and also on the next community All Hands. So stay tuned. Just to share some of the improvements that we've been doing so far. This is some initial benchmarks, so maybe the numbers will change a little bit, but just wanted to share like what are the results that we are seeing so far. So we are seeing a huge improvement in memory allocation. I can even say that number is way less, so it's going to perform way better, and the frames per second also show a huge improvement. The blue line is the current client, and the red line is the new Explorer client that we are building. So you can see like the huge improvements in terms of memory allocation and frames per second for from low to high end computers. So it's going to be great. Stay tuned for more updates on this. So yeah, like just to conclude, the strategy for cycle 4, it's mostly the new desktop client, but we are still continue polishing the current experience and also working in our cool initiatives to make an easier onboarding for everyone around. So I will let Nico share some of the updates and the initiatives that we are working on right now to continue polishing the current experience.
Thanks, Nico. So yes, the first one has to do with making smart items multiplayer. So I just shared a little about how we're going to make this new multiplayer out-of-the-box feature available for the SDK. By the way, that's shipping on Monday next week. That's a plan. But we want to also make this available directly into smart wearables. We don't want to just have scenes that are written with code be multiplayer, but also make scenes that include smart wearables be multiplayer immediately. So this will be configurable though. If someone wants to make a smart item not multiplayer, then there will be an option to configure that. But by default, all smart items will be synced with anyone else who's there in the scene. Then we also want to do a bunch of improvements to the editor that have to do with usability. The first one has to do with making templates available for SDK 7 as we have for SDK 6. That was a pretty nice, nicely received thing that we added in the old builder. And we want to bring the same to SDK 7 scenes as well. So you can start out with a nice already built example. Then we want to make it possible to add scene metadata easily with the UI. This will be the case both for the web editor and for Visual Studio Code. So that you don't have to go into edit the scene.json file manually. You can just change fields in a UI that is way more friendly. And then we have a bunch of UX improvements that we also want to do. Things like it's currently not possible to multi-select many things at the same time. Then it's to delete something, you got to right click on the menu to delete it. We should be able to just hit the delete key. Would be great also to be able to block something on the floor. So for example, block an entity so it doesn't move anymore. Like if you don't want to move the floor accidentally, you can just set it to be locked in position, as you maybe can do with programs like Figma or others where you can just set the background to be fixed. So there's a bunch of little improvements that we have in mind that we want to also address soon. Then this is something that's been missing from the SDK for a very long time, the ability to know about other players. So right now, the SDK only has knowledge about your player, the player currently running the scene. You only know where the player is in terms of position, of playing emotes, of what wearables it has on. The idea is to make that information available about every other player who's also in the scene. And there's a lot of mechanics that can take advantage of that. And currently, we've had a lot of scenes that did ugly workarounds where we were sending this information over the network via server. It was like unnecessarily complicated. And it's pretty much a thing that you'd expect from any other game engines, just to be able to query what everyone else is doing, what everyone else has on, where they are in terms of position and everything. And the final thing I had is that we want to make a library to make it a lot easier to make more interesting UIs. So this is not about adding new features to the UI, but rather to adding a library layer that automatically handles things like progress bars, spinner logos, error pins, things that are pretty much standards. And it is to make all of these things a lot more animated, to add some more visual flair, make it feel a lot more like polished as an experience overall. And yeah, like trying to have things that take advantage of the fact that now we can have a lot more interesting and a lot more richer UI animations. So yeah, that's all.
Another cool thing that we're going to introduce in the next coming months, this was a DAO proposal that was voted and passed, and it's something really easy in the user point of view. Instead of like you can use the name, the central name as a resolver for the address. That means that if I want to transfer, let's say a wearable to a friend, I can use their name instead of their address, which obviously is hard to remember and hard to know. So it's going to show the address as well for security and to check it, but just with the name, really easy, you can use to transfer and give gifts to your loved ones. And then on the onboarding access again, we have these are cool things to share. As I mentioned before, social login, this was something that we wanted to do for the cycle 3. We decided to tackle things differently in an easier way in the background, so the user has a better experience. It has to do with the paths and the single sign-on that I shared before. But at the beginning of the cycle, this is going to be shipped by early January. We're going to finish the integration with Magic, so anyone can sign in for the first time with Google, with the Google email, with Apple, with Twitter, Discord, Facebook, mostly every social login option out there is going to be available. It's still secure, still non-custodial. It creates a wallet on the background, but for the user, it's really, really easy. It's really straightforward. It's something that the user, mostly for Web2 users, it's something that they are really used to in many other platforms. So we expect this to be have a huge impact to attract new users and make them their onboarding way easier. Of course, the current options for Web3 are going to still be available, like MetaMask, Wallet Connect, etc. It's going to be Coinbase. That's going to be kept. This is something we are adding on top of that. Sorry for the delay. We're doing it in a better way. So expect this to be released by early January. Stay tuned for the news. Then we're changing some the navigation. This is also polishing the experience, but also really useful for new users in the platform. This image that you see right there is the new banners that, well, not banners, it's the drop down when you navigate and hover over the options in the main navbar. So if you hover over create, that used to be the builder, that's also a change. You're going to see all the options available with descriptions divided into categories. So it's going to be really easy for someone who is new to actually know what they can find in each of the sections. Another important change that you notice here is that we are renaming the sections, and these are action-oriented names. So we made a bunch of studies and tests with users, and we found out that this performs better, and it's easier for understand for someone who is not super familiar with the platform what actually can be done here. So if you want to create content, you know where to go. If you want to discover content, you also know where to go. That's where the events and the places are going to live. If you want to vote and participate in the DAO, you're going to see that as well. Some people don't know what is a DAO, so voting is something that we all know. So we found out that it's a better way to put it. The marketplace is also where you can trade, where you can shop, where you can manage your assets as well. So hopefully this is going to be more intuitive for new users and for current users on the platform as well. This is something that we've been designing for the past weeks. We're going to be delivering this during this cycle. This is a new landing aimed for new creators to display why you can choose Decentraland to create content, like what are the opportunities here, what things you can create, like the what, right? Like wearables, emotes, smart wearables, like more advanced options. You can also create scenes. Everything is also action-oriented as before, so it's really straightforward for new users. We show also the skills that are needed for each of the things that you can create. These are just placeholders, so it's, if you see your name right there, it's just for illustration. We have the tutorials from the community, also from Foundation, as for an easy access and to onboard in an easy way. And if you don't have the skills in order to do the wearables, for instance, or the modes or a scene, you can also hire the studios, and we're going to increase the discoverability for the studios page, that it's going to be more visible. It will bring more opportunities to the studios and creators in the community to give services to someone who maybe has a cool idea, but doesn't necessarily have the skills in order to do them themselves, or maybe they have part of the experience and the skills, but they need to work collaboratively with a studio or with another creator. So this will make this will be like a first page, a landing where we can have all the information displayed in a delightful way to be attractive for new creators mostly, and for the ones that are here already, you can check other stuff that you can also do and work with others. Obviously, this is going to be mobile friendly, so we can also share this in social networks using the phone, and it's way more accessible. This is also something interesting that we're going to introduce next regarding the onboarding to make it easier. And what we are doing is replicating part of the onboarding that currently happens in the client also to the web. So you're going to be able to create your avatar, to choose your name, like create your account, accept the terms and conditions, like do the first steps in the onboarding on the account creation from the web. So maybe you're not going to be able to at first to customize the avatar in a full way like you can do currently in the client. But you can choose from a set of predefined avatars or randomized avatars in order to start your journey. To start your journey straight ahead from web, and then jump into the client for a fully experience. Then we're going to improve the NPCs. This is also something that has to do with polishing the current experience, but also for onboarding, because these are in the Genesis Plaza, and it's the first interactions with many users. They have some opportunities to be improved. So we're going to spend some time during this cycle to train them, to share the most frequently asked questions, so they have answers for all the questions that we know that appear the first time a user enters Decentraland. So maybe places to discover, what to do, general questions about the platforms. We're going to train them and work a little bit polishing these NPCs so they can give better content and engage more users in a more efficient way. And then I think this is the last one, also to make it easier to buy names. Currently, you can also buy them with Mana, but we're also introducing the ability to buy names with fiat, with credit card, with Apple Pay, debit card as well. So it's going to be also easier to get the central name that that gives you the ability to own a world, have your own space in the Decentraland. Having your own identity inside the platform, participate in the DAO, so by having more voting power. So we know names is a good asset to have in the Decentraland. So we are making it easier for all users to acquire those names. So yeah. That's it from my side. I will leave it to Celes for some general updates. Thanks so much for your attention. Use the Slido if you have any questions. We'll be here. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Nico. Hi, I'm Celeste. I think this is the first time that I'm in the All Hands, but I lead partnerships at the foundation. And I'm going to talk a little bit about events. I don't think I have. Can you go to the next one, Fede or Nico? Thank you. In 2024, we are changing a little bit the strategy of the events. We want to be more focused on the community and the builders. So we are going to continue with the open call for the events that you probably saw for the music fest, and you are also going to see it for wellness, which was announced recently. So, whoops, go back. Sorry about that. So community members can submit their proposals and what they want to build for that specific event. And the idea behind this is to give them more visibility and hopefully as well attract new creators to the Decentraland. And the second thing that this new strategy will tackle is the in-world content and the land strategy. As you may know, the foundation has some plazas. There are a few that are empty at this moment. And so the idea will be assigning one event to each plaza. So when you enter in-world, you see those plazas full of content and you have more stuff to do in-world. Also, I think the idea will be gathering more feedback from the community as we can learn and improve from your comments as well. We started doing surveys after the events with with the Music Fest. So thank you if you provided feedback. We read all your messages and we try to incorporate as much of your comments into the next events. So yeah, that's important. I will show you the 2024 calendar with the events. You will see that fashion now is in September, and we are not doing events every month. This is because we want to give the creators and the community more time to build and think about their experiences. But also we are leaving fashion and music, which are these events, to the second half of the year to also focus on performance, as we are going to have the new client ready by then. When it comes to the dates, wellness will be in January from the 24th to the 26th. Art will be 26th to 28th. Then in May, we have the Decentraland Summit. And then we have June for gaming, September for fashion, and November for music. Those dates, I think probably they will be announced in the manifesto, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, you will probably see Bay from the community as well, working with the events on. She worked on the music, and now she's gonna collaborate with us on wellness. She's being great, so you can reach out to her, to me, or to Kim if you have any questions regarding events. And the last thing, a little bit of a reminder of the upcoming events that are happening, the Community Summit and the scholarship application. The deadline is on the 8th of September. Kim will host our Marketing 101 with the community on December 15th. And we are going to have a small event for holidays in December from the 26th to the 28th. We will be sharing more details about that soon. And I think that's all for me. Yeah, thank you so much for being here. Thanks.
Thanks a lot, Celeste. And if there are not more updates from the foundation side, we can jump into the AMA section. Wait a sec, I'm going to share my screen. Again, let me know if you can see it.
Yes, now we can see.
Great. So let's start with the first one and more upvoted one. And it says, when we will know who got accepted to the In Real Life Community Summit.
Hey, Fede, Imal here. So we need to review the applications, but hopefully we can get the results before the holidays. So this year.
Sorry, Yemel, I hear you kind of robotic. Maybe there's something wrong with the microphone.
Yep.
Oh, thank you. Let me change my mic.
Gemel is an AI.
Matches his avatar image very well.
Okay, so that's for the community summit. If you couldn't hear well, basically we're waiting to receive, to finalize the process for the applications, and we're going back. The foundation is going to announce the people that's going to be accepted before the holidays. So hopefully before the holidays, we'll all know who's going to get accepted. The next one is, do you have a plan for handling the sex recognition of Mana as a security?
I will wait for Yemel for that.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Around?
Can you hear me well now?
Yep.
Yes.
Awesome. So for this question, I can assure you that the Decentraland Foundation is willing to comply with all applicable regulations. I don't have further comment.
Okay, next one from Darinka. Can you consider please creating a joint committee task force that consists of members from both DAO and Foundation to ensure more effective communication?
I would like to have some clarification about what more effective communication would be. What kind of communications are not being effectively communicated at the moment?
Darinka, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, just to add something on top of that, we have a lot of communication from, actually this is a joint effort from the DAO and the foundation to share visibility of the things that we are doing for the foundation. So we are doing a lot of stuff. There were suggestions to this in the past. We listened to that, and I think we have a good collaboration right now. So, but happy to hear if there are improvement opportunities that we can tackle.
Yeah, totally. We also have the request for information flow. That is also another collaboration. And also we have a support team that tackles more like issues or individual questions. But yeah, always open for feedback.
And we also have the Kani requests for feature requests. That's also something that many community members use. So yeah, we'll refresh everything again, as we always do, in the DAO Discord and in Twitter. But yeah, there are several channels for like having back and forth with the foundation. And well, this is one of them. So let's jump into the next question from MetaWolf. How can someone get official Decentraland merch for personal use? There are unauthorized e-commerces online. I prefer funded DAO instead of unauthorized people.
I can answer that. At the moment, we don't have an official merge for that purpose. But I know that there is an undergoing project about a collaboration between the DAO and Foundation in order to establish that official store. I don't have much updates about that. Probably it's related to the ambassador program. Not sure, but we'll announce it when it's ready.
The next one, another one from Darinka. What are the main risks and challenges the Decentraland currently faces, and what are the foundation's strategies for mitigating them?
This is an interesting question. I think the biggest challenge or risk is not having a performance experience. I think that's a number one priority problem that we're facing, and actually developing a new desktop client for that purpose. I think that's number one priority. Then it's about onboarding new people and that not necessarily knows what a wallet is, and introduce these kind of NFT concepts and digital identity and digital assets along the way, but not making it a must-have in order to experience Decentraland. I think social login is going in that direction. Yeah, I think that's performance and onboarding and are key right now. And those are the strategy pillars for now. Yeah, and also improving the creator tools. I think that's being able to do more with the engine. Looking forward to have like water particle systems, controlling the camera, doing cinematics in the scene. Those are the yeah, totally needed.
Thanks a lot. Next one from WebMoney. What do you think about having regular joint planning sessions between the DAO and the foundation to ensure that both are aligned in doing what's the best for DCL?
I think that we have our planning cycles. That's a kind of a big process that we have internally in Foundation, and that's working really well for us in assigning people and skills into projects, and I think that's working well. We could get feedback from the community on some priorities, what is more a bigger priority for the community in general. But I think the process that we have at the moment works really well for us. We do bump the priority of something that has been voted by the DAO, for example, with the names, using names as addresses for transferring. When something like that is voted in the DAO, we really bump it in the priority for us. So that's how it's working right now, and also we get the input of the CANI entries also to put it in the table as feedback or like potential initiatives to do. If you have like more ideas, I think like that process is working well. Maybe the going through three governance proposal for just like a product feature, that's too much. I think CANI is a better thing. I don't know, maybe the DAO wants to do a shorter process for feature requests. So super open to discuss how we prioritize these kind of things, these kind of DAO needs.
Next one, with the new client that will eventually be shipped, will there be a possibility of increasing triangles and megabytes per plot of land without compromising UX?
I think it's a possibility, yeah. We still want to be able to render Decentraland, for example, in a low-end device, and also in like a mobile, for example, or a standalone VR headset. So having low count of trees and making like the overhead of running a scene kind of low give us this flexibility of eventually moving to another platforms as well. But that's a kind of limit that we can review if we have a way more performant client for sure.
Next one, it's a two-part question. The first part, any idea for an incentive scheme for holding lands, playing and creating? For example, there can be points system for them. Next message, people can earn points by own lands, play and create, and use the points to claim wearables that published by the foundation to make it more valuable.
Interesting. I can say that one, it's not in our priority right now. I think the priorities I already mentioned what we're working on. Even though the idea is cool and maybe this is a program that the DAO could organize somehow. Maybe we can include it as a feature, but I think the definition of it and how it should work and what is the incentive and who is paying the incentive, I think that could totally came from the community. And another idea on top of that related could be like to create in a game, maybe for landowners. Maybe by using your land, you can, I don't know, try to conquer other land. I don't know, maybe there is a blockchain case based game that we can use the land for that provides some incentives to hold the land and, I don't know, bet the land with others. I don't know, but sounds like an amazing idea. We're not working on it.
What token gets paid out of the wearable creator if someone pays in other token besides mana?
I can take that one. It's still mana, so there's no changes on that front.
The tokens are swapped during the transaction, so the creator and the DAO receives the fees in mana.
That was a clear one. Will the browser still be supported with the new desktop client release? That's a good one.
Yeah, the answer is no at the moment. So for web, we will continue using the current web experience. And after we release the desktop client, we'll see what's the strategy on web. Maybe there is a way to migrate, get a web build, or yeah, that's something that is up for discussion next year.
A question from Charqueso. I'm confused about how the DAO and the foundation work together. Is DAO supposed to take over? Will foundation go away?
Interesting question. So DAO and foundation have different funding mechanisms. Each of them have a vesting contract. So they are two different entities. And we collaborate, and foundation has a mandate of like following the DAO's direction. So the feedback or the input of the DAO is really important for foundation, but still like it's a different entity. And also it's a protector of Decentraland brand in there and all the IP related to this. And also is the entity that is distributing the software to access most of the Decentraland ecosystem. So that's the relationship between the both. The DAO is supposed to take over. So foundation vesting contract is ending in 2030. And so until that day, foundation has a stream of money or mana that can use to continue operating and developing the platform. After that point, maybe the foundation is smart enough to keep a healthy treasury and maybe continue running for a few more years. But the long-term vision is that DAO is a long-standing entity supporting and regulating the platform. We have still a decade for that to happen. So it's a long way.
Great response. So next one is when we will know who got accepted to the ambassadors program.
I don't have the answer for that. Update coming soon. Finalizing the communication, says Kim. So pretty soon, hopefully.
Is it possible to delegate world storage for users who have land in a separate wallet than their active user wallet with operators' rights?
I'm not sure. Someone here can answer that question.
I can try to answer that question. This is Mariano. But I'm not really sure I understand the question. That's why I'm doubting. So what you can do is, as a world owner, you can assign other wallets to manage your world. And by manage, I mean you can deploy scenes on the name of the owner of the name. I'm not sure if that answers, or maybe
madness.
I.
So for example, some of us might have our land in a cold wallet, then we delegate to an operator to another account that we use actively and maybe have all our names in. So in that case, we're not credited any of the land megabytes for our worlds because they're in a separate wallet. So it's probably a small percentage of users, but I'm curious if it's even possible or if that's something that could never happen.
I mean, if you keep your mana in a cold wallet and then you delegate to someone to operate on your behalf, that's totally possible today. It's not called operator rights because we're not using the contracts in the blockchain for that. But
you can use the CLI tool to delegate permission to another wallet.
Makes sense. Thanks.
Awesome.
Thanks for the response. Another one from Cheddar. When I'll be able to bring my VRM avatars into Decentraland like we do on Hyper5, on Cyber, Nifty Island, etc.?
That's not a priority at the moment.
The next one, and we'll answer, I believe, with 3 or 4 more questions. We can wrap it up. I don't know if you still have time, but we're good on time. No, forget about it. Will the foundation land start using Atlas Analytics? Will landowners still need to install the Atlas code in their SDK, or will it work on all scenes?
It will be great for the next event, that is Wellness in January, the template scene that we distribute to the creators already have the tracking code there, so we can start using the system for the events. The template code will be already have the tracking code probably. That's how I imagine it to be.
Well, another question related to the browser support, and it goes like, you are discontinuing browser support?
No, the web version with the current client will continue to function.
Great. Next one, will there be an ability to play video in UI?
It's one of the things we have on our wish list to eventually do, but it's not a priority right now. So someday, hopefully, but not in the near future.
Thanks, Nico. Next one, is it technically feasible to log in to the desktop client with a MetaMask extension in a browser?
Yes, and we are building it for the social login. The social login initiative will work also in the desktop browser, then the desktop client. With the same technology that lets you connect your signing on the web context, triggering the desktop client. You can also use the MetaMask extension in your browser to use the desktop client. Yeah.
Thanks, Jamel. Next one, does ADR 244 impact the profile.wearables values when using get user data in SDK 6? Nico?
It shouldn't. I'm not aware if it does. If it does, then this is a bug that needs fixing. But as far as I can tell, it shouldn't.
Yeah, it doesn't appear to, but it was just a little unclear what exactly that ADR affected. So that's good to know. Thank you.
The next one, the editor updates are great. However, a lot of bugs still exist in SDK 7 and new ones are popping up all the time. Who's working on pure SDK versus the editor?
So we always have someone in the support role in the SDK team. Yes, it's true that there are a lot of bugs that need fixing, but we are constantly fixing there's an ongoing effort to fix that. The editor is taking up a considerable part of our workload, but also what really is taking up even more of the workload is the new client that we recently mentioned. Some of those fixes are maybe, not such a high priority fix if there will be later a new client where everything is implemented from scratch, like as a fresh implementation. Even though we do want to fix these issues, sometimes that makes it a bit less of a high priority in some cases. But the bottom line is we always have someone fixing bugs, and we're doing as much as we can in that front.
Another question related to the new client. I believe it's already responded about the support for the web version.
Yeah, and it's not coming out in February.
Hey, no, it's Lash from here. I keep asking that question because I keep getting a dodged response. It's just a yes or no. In the future, will you be able to access Decentraland from a browser?
With the future, do you mean a year, 10 years, 100 years?
Yemo, please stop dodging. When the new client comes out, will you be able to access Decentraland from the web?
Yes, with the
Thank you.
current version. Is it clear?
Thanks. Next one. Will the builder be able to support uploads from scenes not exported from builder, or ones with simple modifications that were previously exported with builder?
It's not in the immediate plans, no. Like having the builder be able to freely interpret things that are not built by the builder is a bit more complicated than just interpret things that are written in a very structured way that the builder understands. So not for now.
To follow on that, are we able to write things in a way that the builder would understand if we write the code in that format? Is it technically possible to be able to upload it?
Currently, no, and we don't have immediate plans for that. I mean, what you can do, though, is work on the VS Studio Code extension and have a project open where you're simultaneously working with the inspector visually and also have code on the side. And there we have the full set of features from the builder, smart items and the whole UI and all of those capabilities, but in the project where you can simultaneously also use code together. I would recommend using that approach.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nico. And 3 last questions, and we can start wrapping up this. The first one of these 3 is regarding UI. Multiple line text is still a manual process. Will there be an option for multiple lines?
Yes, I am very aware of that limitation. I've suffered it myself building examples. We want to fix that for sure.
Next one. Where does the sync state between scenes live? Are you able to pull this data for more functionality? How long does the sync state last in a scene?
So there is no server holding the synced state. Rather, these are messages that are sent peer-to-peer among players who are currently in the scene. So as soon as everyone leaves the scene, there is no record of how things were left by the players. If a player comes in after things were changed, the player can ask like other players for what their scene state is, and they can all share the same state. But in the scenario that no one is left in the scene and someone comes in, it goes back to the default starting point. So short answer, it doesn't get stored anywhere. It's in the collective memory of the players who are currently there.
And the last question here, as a dev, can you have visibility into the notification system so we can listen for these notifications and act on them?
Currently, no. I guess we're talking about from the point of view of a scene. Currently, no. It would be probably an interesting feature to look into. If this is about extending the protocol in some other app or something, I wouldn't know there. Probably. Maybe Mariano, do you know, or someone else?
No, I don't know.
I didn't ask this, but maybe they're potentially talking to the marketplace notifications, like knowing when items were sold and things like that.
Oh, then yes. So currently there is a UI component. It's not released yet, but it's going to be in the next couple of days. So there's a UI component which does a fetch to an API, and it gets the notifications from there. So you can, of course, call that endpoint and you get the notification.
Yeah, that was me. That was Lashram's question. Just wondering if there was more deeper integration with those notifications that we could have access to and or in world as well. Because if you're in world and something sells, that'd be kind of nice to have something pop up for you as well.
That's coming. We didn't get to that yet, but it's so once the notification system is in place, we have like a ton of new notifications to add, and adding that to all the other websites apart from Marketplace is one of the things we need to work on next, and also in Word. Nico, Rocco, not sure if you want to say anything else? No.
Okay, so that was the last one. we have a lot of questions today, really good questions, by the way. So I believe we can close the AMA section, and I'll pass it again to Fractilians.
Hello, can you hear me still?
Yep.
Awesome. So yeah, thank you all to everyone on the foundation side for your great presentations. So many exciting updates. Can't wait for the new desktop explorer. Love all the new smart items, and the creators landing page is really going to help onboard new creators. Thank you all on the foundation side for all your incredible hard work making Decentraland better and more fun for all of us every day. And thanks again to the community members for joining us and for your great questions. Special thanks to Yemo and Nico for helping answer all the community questions. In case you missed a portion of this session or want to check out all our the previous two All Hands, it will be uploaded later today on the Decentraland DAO YouTube, and I will paste here in the comments here the link to the playlist in case you guys are wanting to check that out. Our next All Hands will be in 7 weeks, and like I mentioned earlier, if you have any questions for the Decentraland Foundation, there is support via chat, email, Canny, and RFIs. Also be sure to check out this Twitter post that I posted a little bit earlier, and it dives into all the different various communication channels you can use in the meantime. So thanks again to everyone for joining us, and have a lovely rest of your day, and until next time, ciao everyone.
Thanks, Nat. Thanks everyone for joining. Have a nice day.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.